Welcome to Starting Your Starter. This online course is going to take you from, on day one, having two simple ingredients, flour and water, and by the time we get to day 7, it's going to be this robust, thriving, rambunctious sourdough starter that's ready to leaven some bread, to make some sourdough. Now, when you open the course, when you open this, here we are, we're in the introduction, you already opened it. So we're divided into chapters. In each chapter, there are lessons. When you open a lesson, there will be a video out front at the top. You can't miss it. Click on it. It's a follow along. So over the course of these 7 or 8 days, I'm going to go through the process of starting with flour and water and turning it into something that can make 2 awesome loaves of bread. We're always going to make 2. I always suggest making 2. Because you've got 1 to eat, you've got 1 to share if you decide to give it away. Make friends, give your bread away. And then you've got a good excuse to make bread all the time. But it gives you double the practice. And that's the real trick here. We want to accumulate more reps. So making 2 is always a good idea. There's the video in each lesson, and then below the video, there's a little bit of copy, like a little teaser of what's to come in the lesson, and then there's a button with a link to a PDF. Click on the button. It's going to open a PDF in another screen. And the PDF, some of them are kind of redundant. I think days 3, 4, and 5, or 4, 5, and 6, we're kind of doing the same thing. So, there'll be bullet point instructions. It won't be groundbreaking stuff, but on some of the other days, there'll be 3 or 4 pages of information, some pictures, and maybe some things that I didn't mention in the video. You can download them, you can keep them, they're yours, if you find them to be a useful resource to refer back to. So open the PDFs. At the end, I'm not going to leave you hanging, because after 7 days, you get your starter going and it's finally ready to make some bread and you make your bread. But then what? What do we do with this thing? How do we take care of it? How do we feed it? How do we take a break from baking bread and feeding this thing? So all the answers to those questions and some really great methods, there's 3 of them, to manage your starter moving forward, is all down there at the end. They're all interchangeable. You can go from one to the other, and they will keep your starter happy, healthy, and thriving. Because as long as you have flour and water, you can feed this thing and make bread on and on and on and on and on forever. The channel has a lot more stuff going on in it. You can take the sourdough starter, you can make focaccia. We're not making focaccia in this video. We're making 2 sourdough ovals, but in the channel there are playlists for sourdough sandwich bread, sourdough rounds, and then if you look in the sourdough playlist, then there's some other variations where we use this starter to make croissants, focaccia, dark chocolate chip bread. There's so many uses for this thing. Pizza dough. It doesn't just have to be a couple of beautiful sourdough ovals. There's more you can do with it than that. So feel free to explore. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section of the related video. It's possible there could already be an answer to your question, so take a look, and I'm happy to answer questions as they come in. So fire away. Generally, when you run into trouble here, it's going to be an issue of you just need to be patient because your environment's different than mine. You might need an extra day, might happen, or a matter of temperature or water. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Fire your questions into the comments section. Equipment. There is an equipment list. I recommend using the equipment that's on the list. You can substitute at your own risk. None of this is expensive stuff. It won't break the bank. We don't need a KitchenAid mixer. It's really just a matter of a cast iron pot and a bowl and just some basics. Probably stuff that you have. Anyway, I will see you inside, and we are going to get to work. In 7 days from now, you're going to be making your first 2 loaves of bread. On day 8, you're going to be eating your own bread and maybe giving some away.